Hi and welcome back. As the world anxiously awaits what 2022 has in store, TV networks are hard at work cooking up new and exciting shows to keep us entertained.
Are fragile. I want us to sketch out the right man. We just need enough details for someone who knows him.
It won't work. No one knows him.
While we don't yet know what the best mystery TV shows of 2022 will be, here's a look at some of the most promising mystery TV shows. Number 10. The Girl in the Mirror. After surviving a bus crash that kills most of her classmates, Alma wakes up with no memories of the accident or her past. Her parents look like complete strangers, and her household is a mysterious place filled with secrets and lies. Her face grows increasingly irritated once she starts to suspect that everyone is lying to her. She must discover the events before her own identity disappears forever in this world. The Girl in the Mirror has a 6.2 rating in IMDb and a 73% in audience score in Rotten Tomatoes.
Es real. Todo lo que contaban los libros es real.
¿Estás viendo eso?
Lo que sucedió no fue un accidente.
Number 9. The Tourist. Amnesiacs who are being chased by multiple individuals seek to find out who they are and delve through the depths of their being with the guidance of a waitress just met. It commences when a truck attempts to run him off the road, so he commences a fight for his life. However, he ends up in the hospital without knowing who he is or why he is there, so he tries to get help while his enemies are busy trying to kill him. The Tourist has a 7.0 rating in IMDb.
Hey, Alma.
Sure you want to know?
Number 8. Entrapped. Andre and Heinrika collaborate again to locate the perpetrator responsible for the death of a young man, Var, who is killed by a blow to his skull. The investigation becomes more complicated when it turns out that the boy was part of a sect that clashed with a motorcycle gang with which they are always in conflict. Audur, the neo-pagan spiritual leader, owns some land that he considers sacred to build a camp. This is where a group of motorcyclists comes into play, led by a young man named Gunnar, who is willing to do whatever it takes to get them out of there. Along with her preceding colleague Heinrika, Andre sets out to examine the most recent murder case. Entrapped has a 7.0 rating in IMDb.
Ertu good cop eða bad cop?
Þetta góð spurning.
Number 7. Candy. Follow the tragic story of Candy Montgomery and her victim, Betty Gore, in 1980s Texas. Montgomery appears to have been happily married, had 2 children, and lived in a beautiful home. One day, Montgomery meets an elementary school teacher named Betty Gore. Gore quickly becomes her friend. Both go to the Methodist Church of Lucas, in which there was no day in which they were absent. However, Candy decides one day to kill Betty with an axe. Candy has a 7.2 rating in IMDb and a 71% in audience score in Rotten Tomatoes.
Couple.
Oh, they're just so brittle. I really try to grow them, but I can't.
Number 6. Archive 81. Dan Turner finds the opportunity to participate in the work of documentarian Melody Pendres after she hires him to digitally scan a collection of damaged videotapes from 1994. As Turner becomes captivated by his story, he becomes convinced that he can rescue Pendres from the grim fate she encountered 25 years ago. Archive 81 has a 7.3 rating in IMDb and a 72% in audience score in Rotten Tomatoes.
Opie is one.
Please find me.
Number 5. Recipes for Love and Murder. Tanny Maria lives in the village of Eden in South Africa and is preoccupied with cuisine. While she lives in a very hot and dry region of the Karoo, she is a bit of an anomaly, having come from Scotland a decade ago. She joins her colleague, Jessie, a young, kick-ass, black investigative journalist, in a murder mystery. To make a meal more palatable to their audience, Tanny Maria finds that she consistently has to add a soothing balm to every meal she cooks. When a young woman from the countryside is murdered, Tanny Maria and her co-worker Jessie can't resist the temptation to get involved in the police investigation. Martin's murder rattles the whole town, mysterious bodies pop out of closets, and danger lurks around every corner. a murder mystery series based on the best-selling Tanny Maria books by Sally Andrew and set in the breathtaking landscapes of South Africa and Scotland. Recipes for Love and Murder has a 7.6 rating in IMDb and a 60% in audience score in Rotten Tomatoes.
Well, see if I can unearth a bottle of wine. We could just keep chatting it over.
So good.
Number 4. The Patient. Patient Sam Fortner, who shows himself to be a serial killer, is being held captive by therapist Alan Strauss, who is plagued by Sam's disturbing mental compulsions. Alan must calm Sam's disturbed mind and prevent further homicide, but Sam ignores the need to address serious issues such as his mother Candace. Alone, Alan evokes memories of his therapist, Charlie, on the anniversary of his wife's death to grapple with his own conflicted feelings and the recent departure of his offspring, Ezra. By the time Alan is in jail, he not only understands how deeply Sam's compulsion runs, but also how much work he has to do to repair the rift in his family. The Patient has a 7.3 rating in IMDb and a 83% in audience score in Rotten Tomatoes.
Fear hanging over every session.
Number 3. Shining Girls. A Chicago journalist named Kirby Maserati, who survived a brutal and horrifying assault only to discover her reality turned upside down as she hunts down the offender was responsible for it. When Kirby learns that a murder in town is linked to her attack, she joins forces with an experienced reporter named Dan Velasquez to help her understand her changing reality and confront her past. Shining Girls has a 7.5 rating in IMDb and 88% in audience score in Rotten Tomatoes.
What's his name? Who's the man who visits you?
Number 2. Blackbird. Jimmy Keene, a high school football star and a police officer's son, is sentenced to 10 years in a minimum security prison. He is given the option of lifetime, enter a maximum security jail for the criminally insane and befriend suspected serial killer Larry Hall, or remain where he is and serve his full sentence with no possibility of parole. Keene rapidly recognizes his only way out of this predicament is to confess to the murders of several young women and find out more about their buried bodies. But is the suspect being truthful? Or could it be a story originating from a serial liar? Blackbird has an 8.2 rating in IMDb and a 95% in audience score in Rotten Tomatoes.
Do you think you could be in danger? You are in danger.
Number 1. 1899. A migrant steamship heads west to leave the Old World. The passengers, a mix of European nationalities, were united in their dreams and expectations for the future, board the vessel to set sail for an unknown destination. Tragically, their ship suddenly develops engine trouble, and they are adrift in the open sea. What they'll find aboard will transform their travel to the destination into a dark nightmare. 1899 has a 9.7 rating in IMDb.
Shift their perspective to see the full scope of things.
Do you like this video? Check others' videos here and subscribe to be notified about our most recent videos. See you next time. Goodbye.